This is the Service Hero Show. 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter, and today a we are meeting face to face right here on the internet. Someone that I met when I first started all of this way back in the day. However, he was nominated by a good friend of the show and Kevin Beverly right here. Kev Bev, as many know him on the internet. And he was the one that said, you need to have Timothy R. Johnson on as a service hero. So, Kevin, thank you for making sure that I get this wonderful man on the show today. And we had a chance to catch up for a few minutes before we went live. And let me tell you, he is in the middle of so many things. So we're going to get right to it. And as we do, I'm going to just, as people hop on, I'm going to say hello. We have hello, Skip Thomas. Good to see you this afternoon. I hope all is well. And as the buddies start showing up, ambassadors will highlight them too. Timothy, where are you today? You have the beautiful tank in that background of yours.
My office in Indiana.
Indiana. I love that smile. Okay, so I met you in Orange County way back in the day. I was new, completely new to all of this nonprofit, and you were so amazing. I'll never forget that. You actually sat and talked with me, asked me where I wanted to take this. Really, in a way, kind of like gave me great ideas and pointers. You didn't have to do that. You spent the time doing that. I have never forgot it. It meant so much to me, and I actually implemented a lot of it. And so I want to thank you for that.
No problem.
That's the kind of man you are, right? I mean, I know it's sometimes hard to kind of like, oh yeah, I'm like all that in a bag of chips, but you really do have that kind of heart, don't you?
You know, here's the thing. I learned years ago, if it's kind of like Amish country, right? When you serve, you get served, right? And it's just, if you come out, you know, people are like, oh, I gave $1 million idea away. No, that's not, it doesn't matter. Listen, there's always opportunity. If you have a negative mindset on things, you know, but that's the way I grew up. I grew up without a lot of things. So, you know, I told you, I don't know if you've ever heard my story.
You know, I don't think I have. So I want to though. And we've got one of our ambassadors of the chat with us, and I want to recognize her, Rachel Johnson. Thank you for being with us. And Rachel, Helene is not going to be here. She wanted to let me tell you. So if you want to just, do what you guys do best and just welcome everybody in, I appreciate it. Okay, so let's hear your story. I'm curious now. You got my curiosity up.
Well, imagine being 6 years old and you turn on the TV to find out your dad's a serial killer. My dad killed 6 people in a steakhouse and killed a family 3 weeks before that on the side of the road. I was put in foster homes. I was molested. I was beaten. I had a sister commit suicide. I had a brother might shoot his dad in the face in high school. And what's trippy to bring it all forward is just recently my daughter-in-law, or my future daughter-in-law, told me that her grandma's first cousin was actually one of my dad's victims. So,
okay, no, I know I didn't know. I would have remembered this. And oh my goodness, you were 6 years old?
And because TV was actually allowed into the courtrooms in the 70s, it became a whole profile case. I mean, I actually have right behind me the 40th anniversary. One of my students actually sent it to me from Oklahoma, letting me know about it. And it was just one of those, but it wasn't a curse. It was a gift, because we live in the 90th percentile of the world. And if you can imagine what living in the 90th percentile of the world is, like, I could walk up here to that fish tank to get a glass of water at any time.
Right.
So.
Right. And we've been talking about this. It's really interesting, Timothy. There is no accident. I will tell you, everybody out there, that we had to reschedule, and I just uploaded it into the YouTube. We had to reschedule Timothy's show because we had a system-wide outage in my neighborhood and in my Southern California area, my carrier, and Timothy was supposed to be on that show that day. And now here I can see why this happened, because you are talking about things that yesterday we were talking about the significance of 6 years old. And the last couple of days, we just had a gentleman on publicly and then in the private chat that is about water, helping to bring clean water to the world and educating everyone how that is something that people take for granted in our neck of the woods. But in most areas of the world, that is something that, he was talking about it last night, 6 hours, to go get water that's not even, it's going to make you sick. So,
Right.
so you're really, I love the mindset, and this is where I'm understanding you as a coach, because I mean, Kevin, he's amazing with this, and that he, it's like flip it, turn it, look at it a different way, right? And so that's exactly what you're doing with this story, because I know that many people out there have got to be going, ugh.
Well, imagine for a moment, think about a farmer, right? They wake up relentless at 6 a.m. every single day to sow their fields to get one paycheck a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A child doesn't have ADD if he can play video games for 8 straight hours.
Right.
They just don't. They're just not interested in what you're talking about. So
right.
What I believe from my experience and what I'd like people to consider is during an epidemic like this, what you need to look at, what's coming up in your business. It's not all this doom and gloom. It's you're seeing, and Steve Cypress, a good friend we both know, is he always talks about the black swan. It's not if it happens, it's when, because we went through World War I, we went through World War II, we went through the AIDS epidemic. We've been through all kinds of epidemics. But what I'd like people to consider is the opportunity of what you're finding holes in your business or what's going on. Like, you can either be proactive during this time or you can be reactive. You won't be both.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if Pareto's principle is correct, you know what I mean? Like they say, that you are the 5 people you hang out with. And everybody, you're not, I'm in the house. I'm like, no. And I ask them, how many people did you call? Where are you finding holes in your business? What I have found in business that most people are frustrated is because they work on things they're not good at. And to get super clear on something is,
Yes.
Yeah, is because there's a difference. Like, for example, during this time, I had to pivot because I'm a very brick and mortar business. We do some marketing, but I had to jump quick to make sure my guys are taken care of. And my students are in this mindset, like, it's like my dad did. I'm like, well, I never had a dad. So I'll trade you right now. And they go, you would? Yeah, any day of the week.
Right.
See, could you imagine just for a moment if people, the farmers, looked at their field and said, oh, I'm just, you know what? It's got COVID.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Timothy, that's good. Right.
So what did we do 100 years ago, if you think about this, when there were no labels? Like, we dealt with, sorry, I won't cuss. We dealt with things, right? And it was just, we went out, but we've been so driven, okay? And something that I'm challenging a lot of people doing now is the people you listening to, is it opinion or advice?
Well, that's good.
If you look at somebody giving me, like, I love my mom, but my mom loves to give me her opinion on how to run my business, but hasn't had a job in 40 years. I get it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Advice, look at the person that you're taking stuff from. I'm just curious when society thought that other people's reality should become ours.
That's good. That's good. And in fact, okay, so let's talk, because I want people to understand who you are. You have a background in business. You're a business coach. You also, you've been out on the circuit, if you will. When I met you, it was at a very big event where you were featured as the business coach. You were the one that there, if you want a business coach, and there were these different coaches there, and you were talking with and coaching with and sharing information with people from real estate, bookkeepers, the business people, because a lot of times you think a lot of these summits and it might be speaker after speaker after speaker. Well, you're a brick and mortar, get it done business coach that does talk about mindset, and you bring it all together, and you bring it together in actionable, concrete ways. And I love the way that you were talking about the fact that what are you doing? You're pivoting. And that is something that I really want people to absorb. And my chat is off right now, guys, and so that's why I'm not bringing you over, but welcome as you're coming in, and thank you, Rachel, for welcoming them. So you are helping your business people, and you are sharing today. If you are not pivoting, and be honest with yourself, because I had this discussion today with my database guy. I was telling you that I have been working for the last 3 years to build this massive nonprofit website that was going to help all of the stuff that we're doing, and we are now in a beta stage, and there's all this clerical work that needs to be done for it. And we were going over it, and he asked me, he goes, so who's doing it? And I said, I am. And we both got a good giggle out of it, because it is not my well, and I'm listening to you.
Right.
Okay.
Business is math, right?
Right.
Okay, so Tamara, if you were to look at, what you made last year divided by the hours you work, okay?
Right.
And let's just say it was $100,000, okay? And that means you're making $48 an hour. So if you're going to go get somebody, okay, if you don't know what to hire, you don't know.
Right.
The reason I do the SOLD process, SOLD is just, it's an acronym. You start with strategy. The objections are the opportunities. If you leverage your referral partners and you duplicate and automate your business, here's the thing. When we go build houses or we go build businesses, there's a reason why Fortune 500 companies are specifically have a board of directors between 12 and 20 executives, each being badass at what they do.
Right.
Why wouldn't we surround ourselves in our own business with that?
Right.
I mean, in ours, we have electricians, plumbers, and regular business. We got CMOs, CFOs. I just came on. I'm part of a little brother of mine's doing, and he's been working on for years. And part of the dynamic of me pivoting during this time is he's like, dude, I need you to be my COO. I'm not a CEO, but I'm a COO. I'm just know how to operate. And things he's working on for 2 or 3 years, I did in hours, because I got agreements. When you get agreements,
okay,
and you stick to those agreements, and it's funny with agreements nowadays. But here's the thing: my little brother's also really, really good at converting on the front end of funnels. Like, that's really what he's good at. So he was able to build my tribe for Uncensored in like 8 days to like 40,000 people. And so because I pivoted, and I didn't have an ego with it, I reached out to my little brothers and I said, how about you play your lane and I'll play mine? And for a decade, I transfer people like that all the time. I just take a little piece in the middle. If you're at home and someone needs a data entry person, or they need merchant accounts, or they need reputation, or there's all kind of ways to make money from home if you just think about what all businesses need, right? Right now, people, if they're stuck at home, they need to be visible. So you need an SEO guy. You got to surround yourself with reputation. You got to get on podcasts. You got to and if you think about simplicity 100 years ago, I mean, even the Amish people work together. And
yes,
find a business today is okay. And back to my point, if it takes 10,000 hours to master what you do, I don't need to be you if you're standing next to me. Okay. Right. So if I wanted to hire somebody like you to do my PR and do some of that stuff, at my hourly rate, if I was making $48 an hour at 10,000 hours, it's going to cost me $480,000 of my time instead of just hiring the person next to me.
Right. Right. That makes complete sense.
They're going to do it faster. They're going to do it easier, and they're going to get it done.
And they're going to get done, and it most likely is going to be done right, rather than like with me, and I did have this conversation, and this is where I at least was, because I was being real and honest, and it was, I don't know how to do this. I need to know how to do this. I'm learning how to do this.
Why don't you go back? You don't need to know how to do it. Here's the thing.
Okay, there you go.
Do SEO. But my little brother that I shot video with yesterday, Josh B. Kraft, is really, really good at SEO. Like what he did in the last 2 weeks for my reputation online has been sick. What Ricky's done to build my tribe's sick. I mean, these they just get a mindset thing, and so I'm their big brother, so I protect them that way. They just get to agreements, and if the agreements aren't met, then we get rid of them. Okay.
Keep going, and then I'm going to pivot here because there's something I want to ask in regards to what you were saying. But let's finish up the business thought.
No, and right now, if you're not good at something, and listen, what I did is it hasn't cost me a dime. I did trades, so people can't come to me and say during this time I didn't have the money. No, I did it purposefully. Now, did I have to give my time for some of my coaching? Yes. But I wanted to prove a point when everybody uses excuses that it can't be done. Because I've never seen a Ford tire on a Ford truck, ever. So strategic alliances that work together don't have to, as long as it's beneficial. And when you're raw, real, relentless about your strategic partner's dream and serving them, they'll serve them. Right. And if they don't, get rid of them.
Right. And genius, big, huge, light bulb going up on top of Tamara's head right now. And I just want to welcome everybody that's come on. Please hashtag live, hashtag replay. And if you're on one of the specific pages, please let me know where you are, because I did share this out to different pages, and I am only going to be seeing in the chat the ones that are here on our page, but we'll be able to see it on the other pages later. And I would like for Timothy to be able to see where you were sharing the love with him. All right. The big brother, little brother situation. I want to key into that because, I now that I'm understanding your personal story, I am understanding you a lot more because, I hear, again, when I first sat and talked with you, here you're one of the big coaches, and you were being so generous with your time, and I was so appreciative of it. I didn't understand the personal story. Now the whole idea of the mentoring, the big brother, the little brother, the family feel, that makes a lot more sense. Where I know that you're sharing that you were in the foster care system, you were in situations that were not so wonderful.
Well, can I share something with you? Here's what how simple this can be.
Okay.
So if I'm married, and I don't want to be vulgar about it, but if I'm kind of partial to getting lucky.
Okay.
But back then I wasn't. So really the only thing that was ever taken away from me at the end of the day was my right to say yes or no. Because if I didn't like it then, but I really like it now, the simplicity of it is I'm kind of partial to it. I think most people are, right?
I would think so.
Right. And really, the only thing that, if you get to a simplest level, the only thing that was taken away from me was my right to say yes or no.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I get that completely. And it's interesting that you say it this way because I've heard it in so many other ways. And, I really appreciate that because that just puts it in a very simplistic, something you can understand. Blood, see, something, I'm not seeing it completely. Blood,
loyalty to family.
Okay, so I can see blood and then loyalty over family, but what does it say completely?
Blood makes you related. Loyalty makes you family.
I love that. There you go. Boom. Mic drop. There you go. Perfect. I love that. And so what you're saying right now, and I am just, this is, Guys, I hope you're getting something out of this, because I certainly am. I really am. I'm right now realizing that there are so many things that we can be doing right now, and in serving each other as, yes, this is a Service Hero show, serving each other's businesses, helping where our strengths are, and not wasting the time willy-nilly in our areas where we're, and I have been in the middle of the wasting the time. I have been.
And here's the thing. Imagine for a moment, if you even, with just your Rolodex you have, okay? If you help people when they're down, they remember you when you're up.
Right.
So when I sat down with you the first time, it's probably the reason why I'm on this show. And it only took a little bit of my time to serve something. And then we reconnected when I was one of the big sponsors at Lauren's event.
Right.
One of my big loves is because people did it for me when I was a kid. I like to be that big brother for some of these other kids, because that's something like I've been to Bangladesh and all over the world. And we went, like, some of my funnest times was playing soccer in a monsoon with there was a whole bunch of it was Roger Salam and just a lot of great guys that love serving kids. And here's the thing. That's what I was talking about 100 years ago. What did we do when there weren't so many labels? I'm just curious.
100 years ago, I mean, you went on about life. You just.
No, you got shit done.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
And then
there was no excuses. There was, you got up, you got it done. Yes. Put your shoulder to the wheel is what I heard, and just get it. Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't go out and sow your fields, you didn't eat.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. We've just gotten this mindset, at least from my experience. One of my coaches was Bill Heinrich. I mean, a lot of simple.
Yes.
Yes. Right. I mean, the guy's a genius. And here's the thing, even when you go out, I guarantee if you were to write your Rolodex, just pull out this, okay, and you were to go through your phone, like you're telling, I'm looking for somebody in data, okay, how many other business, Jason Ernos, Lauren, I mean, I guarantee you, if we drop our ego during this time, one or two people away from knowing exactly what strategic partnership, whatever the data is you're looking for, whatever the shift in partnerships that you can do. But it's whether or not you pick up the phone. Hey, dude, see, the difference in my little brothers and they're getting is that when I need something, or I just pick up a phone. I don't want to be frustrated. My day doesn't have to suck. I'm just going to pick up the phone because I'm not good at it, because I'm not.
Right.
I just play my lane. And as long as I play my lane, and the reason we created Uncensored Society is because a lot of these kids and a lot of these adults have made up all this, at least from my experience, this crap in their head. I'll give, for example, I was on with one of my little brothers, and he was surprised I picked up the phone, like in the morning. Hey, dude, how you doing? What's going on? He's like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. I'm like, are you an idiot? Did we not have an agreement a week ago that you said you do mine, I would do yours? And then all of a sudden you put me on this pedestal? Like, what is that for? Like, can we put my pants on the same way? We do stuff the same way. So this whole hierarchy crap needs to go away.
I had to pull this up, though, because you do have a tongue-in-cheek personality. And guys, I have to go here. I just have to, because when, on a pedestal and everything, because, the thing about you, Timothy, is that you are, yes, you have the knowledge and the people. I know now the people I know them very well, and that you have affected them in ways that you've helped them start in many of the things that they are very successful in, and yet you have this real fun attitude too. You don't take it too seriously. I love the king picture, when you're saying on a pedestal, on a pedestal. I just had to bring that up because it's like, okay.
No, but think about your legacy for a moment.
Pardon?
Think about your legacy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Can you sell yourself better, or can your friends?
Oh, the friends. Absolutely.
So yeah. You think people want to belong to something. So when you can get the head trash out of the way, one of my little brothers, he's like, dude, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm like, no, I said, what happened, brother, is that you agreed to give to all these people, but who are the 5 people that give back to you to refuel your tank? See, we love to serve as coaches. The difference is I like to be served too. Okay, so I make sure the agreement fits both sides very quickly, because if they don't, they're gone. People are like, oh, no, we're going to do business. No, I have an asshole charge. Right? You're not, like, it's not. If you didn't do it the first time, okay, like when I charge 25 grand for 3 days of my time, if they don't fill out the paperwork, they don't see me. It's like, hey, when am I coming? You're not.
Right.
You know,
right.
And my little brother, like, he's really good. And I sat him down, and most people don't want to change habits. If you want to go from 100 grand to 200 grand, you got to change your habits. You got to change your habits from $48 an hour work to 96. It's just basic mathematics. And it's, you know, think about the human mind for a moment. If you think about just the way we talk to people, you should. What does that sound like? That sounds like your parents. No, they consider. Okay. Here, people say, and one of the things that I'd like to shift, if you don't mind, people go, you changed lots of people's lives. I didn't change anybody's life. I was a catalyst in them, giving them options, just like Bill did for me, just like Tom Schaff did for me, just like everybody. They're a catalyst. I have to wake up and make those changes. Okay, that is going to be. That's why people go, oh my God, you changed all people's life. No, I didn't change anybody. I didn't change my little brother, Kevin. Okay. I gave him some different ways to look at things. And I told him, dude, you can either do this or not. I'm like, he goes, what am I going to do? I'm like, there's this really expensive tool called Google, bro. Like, here, type weddings, this. And at the bottom of the page, it says all the stuff that you should be building content on. And then he's like, no, it's not that. Yes, it is that easy, bro. Welcome to Google. Like, you type anything into Google, you can find, let's just say like your show, like Chemo for Buddies. Well, what would strategically make sense, right? It'll be companies and things on the internet that I would look at, that I would want to attach to. Right. To be them if they're standing next to you. And the difference, we don't, for example, I can get kids in the Philippines that are locked down right now that I've hired that will go in and do for $100 a week, more money than they've ever made, and will do the data mining while I sleep. Right. And then people come back to me like, dude, you're a genius. I didn't think using Google was really that difficult. But if that's where your mindset goes to, I'm like, okay, I can teach I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to disable anybody, but I can teach a porch monkey to do it. You just can't. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been talking a lot about monkeys lately, so that's fine. You're good.
Yeah. The reality of things is I don't change anybody's life. If they choose to wake up and do something different for their life, they'll make more money. If they don't, they're not going to.
Right. That makes total sense. And thank you for clarifying that, because in truth, that's so, and especially knowing Bill as well as I do, you know, yes, he does help with reframing.
He's a badass dude. Like that's
he's in his simplicity, and yet it comes across like, but it's so multi-layered. It's incredible. Everything is perfect.
Everything is.
Everything is perfect. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And go ahead.
How many people? I mean, I'll tell you right now. Anybody that's freaked out, oh my God! Listen, I'll rent an airplane from Delta because they have a lot of them available right now. You go to Africa, you spend a month there, let them come over here. You probably won't come back. You know what? Because the Africans are, you know what I mean, or Bangladesh or Indian kids that are just, I mean, a soccer ball this big. Like it was funny, Roger Slom told me one time, he says, dude, you trained those kids' life. I'm like, no, they did not. Dude, I blew out my ACL. If you go to my website, Timothy R. Johnson, there's a video in the middle of the page where I just did, you know, I'm picking up speakers and I'm chucking them. You know, we had a full-out MMA brawl. Like, it was like WWE Raw in the mud, you know, playing with the kids, slinging them. You know what I mean? Like,
how fun.
And I was a big kid. Because, you know, imagine this. When you change the life of one person, like when I spoke to Kevin, how many lives he's going out to affect now?
Yeah.
A compound effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, huge.
Right.
Huge. Yeah. I just had a discussion with him the other day, and what and where he is going and what he's in the middle of, it is absolutely huge. And that's where it's very interesting how it is really, we're only a few degrees of separation. And in fact, I do want to go somewhere because I want to thank you publicly in that you are introducing me to people that I'm now connecting with to help with our organization with Chemo Buddies for Life, and help them with what they're doing, and do the whole neighbor thing. Like, okay, let's work together. Let's see how we can assist each other.
Well, when you put 1 and 1 together, what do you get?
More than 2.
11.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes.
People,
yes.
They're like, no, 1 and 1 is 2. I'm like, I've never put 1 and 1 together, and it never looked like 2.
Right.
In their Rolodex, if they already have some, and then there's a collaboration when you start a cause, or you do it. And I'll give you a perfect example. I got yelled at by Lauren Harris. Like, he whooped
I've been there too.
No, I don't mean it like that. He called me up, and I had sponsored, and they were having some challenges on raising capital, and I had really, this is my own mindset. And he says, don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. So that day, he calls me up. He's like, dude, how many kids aren't going to be at this event if we don't raise it? So I'm like, whatever. I'm pissed at him for a minute, and finally I let it go. And so I type on Facebook. I'm like, hey guys, I'm sponsoring the Power of Weed. My partner and I are. So my partner in Mose Lake calls me. He says, I'm in for 25. No, the business part. I'm in for $1,000. And Lauren's like, what? But I had never. It wasn't one of those. I do it in my own life or for other people, but it wasn't something that I was publicly. And I'll tell you what really hurt last year. And this is this got rough. Because I never, you see me, I've always been in the background. I've been an operator.
Right. Yeah. He's always in the back, standing there like, okay, he's watching the whole thing, kind of watching the room. Oh yeah. I got it pictured right now.
And
yeah.
One of my brother's little sister looked at me and says, how many kids are you all helping because you're not sharing your message? And that one, you might as well took. If any of you get to know me, you'll know I'm not rough. I'm just straight. And that was like a taste of my own medicine. And what Ricky Bataga, one of the best webinar guys, and I came on, and he talks about me all the time. And I'm like, but little brother, you grew my presence, because I asked him the same thing. I repurposed for the love of kids with him. And with Emerson and Kirby, my business partner, is really about serving the veterans, and which is, I'm a vet, So that part is something. But when someone comes up to you and they ask you that question, which is, if you've noticed, like I picked up the phone yesterday to a guy, he's like, they're like, no, you're not supposed to do customer help. No, I'll find out what's up. Guy's going through divorce, having challenges, and I'm like, dude, what are some isms that you have? Like, you're not just going to put an e-com store up, because that's what my buddy created, and it's e-com's cooking right now. So I'm like, here's the thing. I created Uncensored Society swag so that part of that money that I take out goes back to the things that I love to do. Now I don't have to do it by myself. I can do it as a collective. Okay.
Perfect. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it. And so, so giving back with that, and it makes total sense that you would be working with the Power of We and those types of organizations that give back to the kids and helping them to go and have a future. Many have gone on to college. Many of them have succeeded. And so this program, the programs that you're talking about right now, in pivoting, you're going back to the pivoting and making sure that you pivoted that to a point where you started with 0. Let me understand this correctly. 0, and you went to 40,000 in
8 or 9 days. Yeah.
8 or 9 days. The power of
collaboration.
Yes, exactly. And you did it by, if you will, trade, without a penny or a dime spent, as you said.
One I did, and the only reason that I could have, and he offered, I just lives near me. He had built our Uncensored Society Mastermind website, and I just knew that in the situation he was in. So that's the only one so far that I haven't. That I paid him only because I understood the situation he was in. So I did pay him. But other than that, I wanted to show the power of a collective, the power of if you give up ego and just say, listen, I can serve you this way, you can serve me this way. And like Ricky's on the phone last night. Oh, you're the miracle worker. No, dude, I just get shit done. It's just agreements. It's not. It's just most people, they'll talk, but what is the actual agreement, right? Like if you and I were going to do a trade, all right, great. Here's your roles and responsibilities. Here's mine. Because one of the things I want people to understand during this time, if you don't reach out, okay, we could trade projects. Like if you need your data stuff done, I could probably do it 10 times faster or get it done 10 times faster than you ever will.
Right.
Okay. So, or I have somebody that I know could. Like it would just be that and just make the trade, right? And there's probably projects like getting on stuff like this. I guarantee you could probably give me a list this long, like right now, that says, okay, I'm good. Timmy, you're going to be on this, you're going to be on this, you're going to be on this, you're going to be on this. And you would just rattle off because that's one of your powerhouse strengths, right? And literally, as long as you're clear with what's expected and agreement is there, then people, they oh, we're going to work together. I'm like, okay, write this down. An idea without a date is a dream.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Bottom line. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Right.
Here's the thing, people don't come to you to make more money. What they do is they come to you for what the money will do. But we don't ever find out from our people, what is it that they want to achieve? Like, what is their 3-year goal? Right. What is it? They're like, oh no, I want to have a vacation in Hawaii. I said, great. How much? They're like, oh, $5,000. Let's make it 10. And by what day? They're like, oh, August 31st. Great. It's $22 a day. So if you can add $22 a day to your business, then we can get you there. They're looking at the big number. And I've never seen anybody.
Right. And you're breaking it down. You're breaking it down, and that makes absolute sense.
Right.
That absolutely does. Okay, I want to bring up this picture because yeah, Jim. I mean, because I'm a part of Speakers Pathway Coalition, and so and so when I saw this picture too, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I had forgotten that you were working with Bill. At one time I remembered that I did know it, but I wasn't thinking about it when I was preparing for the show. But I had found this picture, and I thought, oh, this is just too cute, and.
I think he would have been the best drill sergeant or just first sergeant to have an arm. Him and his son, it's just crazy, dude. I mean, just the way he's, when you spend that amount of time with that much training, that guy's a genius, man.
Yeah. Well, when we were up in Colorado Springs and he was the master of ceremonies, it was about, helping the vets and helping them to transition back into real world, if you will, and with actionable skills. And he's up there with his garb, and he's got his pin, and he's looking like the drill sergeant that he is, and he's up there and he's talking to him, and it was so interesting because it was a room full of vets that we were helping, and the outcome of what happened, because we had miracles with Bill, and I mean the whole really cool thing. And this, guys, as we're talking here, I want to bring this out to all of you out there to realize that here we are having a conversation. We're chatting right now, like many people, that if you pick up the phone and you make that phone call, if you are in a situation right now, the here and now, May the 6th, 2020, and you're thinking, how can I pivot? How can I do this? It is, look at what happened right here. Timothy and I met at a location. Then a friend that's completely another group than what we're talking about right now, he was the one that said, oh yeah, you've got to have Timothy on as a service hero. Now, because of a picture that I found, it goes into a whole nother group of people, and we're having this conversation in front of you. This is the power of picking up the phone and saying, I would like to talk to you about something, and how can happen so quickly that you guys are in the same circles that you, because when you are like-minded and you are purpose-driven, and there's so many of them that are watching this show either in live or replay, that I hope you're getting as much out of this as I am, because the bottom line to me is this, is that there's no reason why we shouldn't be much further ahead right now. Okay, explain the circles.
Well, if your circles are tied, right, you're introduced to
Yes.
another circle. So each circle being attached to each other. So we all learned this in first grade.
Right.
Okay. So if all the circles combine, but we're willing to ask, hey, by the way, is there anybody that, so there was a guy at Northwestern Mutual through Tom Schaff, one of my mentors, and he tells a story all the time. This is about 5-6 years ago I met him. He says, the guy won every sales record ever. And he made some of the coolest thing, and they bring him up on stage. I mean, he smoked like the next insurance agent, like totally. And it was like 4 or 5x, something crazy. I forget the numbers exactly, but he says, what is the secret to your success? He says, I don't look for a business for myself. He says, I look for a business for my 11 other friends.
I love it.
And that secret is, you don't gamble. And it's funny, the reason that, even, being down there in Phoenix and being around a lot of those people down there. And, one of the things is when you start connecting the circles, okay, for people, and you simplify the process, because when you say the problem is, what do you create for yourself?
Problem.
When you say,
you're saying it out in the universe, and so you're asking for one. Yes.
See, the difference that I'd like people to consider, stop assuming you're going to figure it out. I don't try to figure it out, okay? Because I can jump on a phone with 1 and 1 equals 11, and my people are going to give me way more clarity, way faster, way easier, and make me way more money than me trying to mastercraft my own message. That doesn't even make sense.
Right. Yeah, because absolutely.
Your own fishbowl. So I don't. For example, I have more nicknames in this industry than anybody I know. And I'm like, it was funny. I was talking to Joe Lublin. I know you know her too. She's a great PR lady.
Oh yeah.
More content out there. And it was funny because I asked when I first started this 4 or 5 years ago, and I was talking to another, and she says, I'm like, I don't have a brand. Right. And it was like a slap in the face. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, everybody.
I know. It's so true.
But sometimes you got to be right. If I hadn't asked that question and I had to pivot my mindset on that, because I have a very specific one that I get to the action fast. What's the date? And so it became, and then some of the women in the industry started calling this thing called Timmy time, which is just a 911 message, right? Hey, I need Timmy time real quick. And I'm like, and my grandkid goes, I need Timmy time.
Oh, how cute. Okay.
What'd you say? Oh. No, but I was like, what'd you say, boy? And I caught myself, because I'm one of those, yes, sir, yes, and even living in the South for years. And I'm like, okay, you know what? And then they were going to hijack the name, Timmy Time. And I'm like, do I look like a Sesame Street character? But what I wasn't looking at, that Timmy Time it's a 911, I need you right now. Can you jump on the phone? And I wasn't looking at it like that. So sometimes when we're on our glass bowl, it's, sometimes you got to stop looking at why am I reacting like this, and really look at, okay, what is it that I'm serving and doing that this is coming up?
Right.
Good. It just, I love being near Amish country, because you watch these, people tell me, it's funny. And what I love of it, and I hope people don't get offended, like the reason I love Indian people is because they walk hand in hand down the street. And like when you going into an Indian family's home, I just sit down. I'm like, hey, what's for dinner, Ma? Why am I here? Because it's very culturally that way. So when you understand the simplicities, people go, oh, Indian people are cheap. No, they're not. They're smart. They have money. The only difference is whether they trust you or not.
Right. Absolutely. Trust is huge.
Right.
And in fact, I want, on that trust issue, I want to pivot some in a way, because you actually, you brought up to me yesterday that, and I didn't know it was someone that I knew, but that you you're helping many people through this, and you've served us all so well and giving us real good business sense, and I appreciate that so much. And I want people to also see your heart. Why, Timmy time, that makes a lot of sense too, because you are fair, you're honest, you're right there, you say it how you feel it. And I appreciate that. I like that about people. And then that way you're not guessing, because I don't like the guessing games.
One thing here. If you would stop telling me the stories and just tell me the problem, then I'll get it. Here's the thing. You could have told me that 45 minutes ago.
Right.
And they're like, what's that noise? I'm working.
Right.
5 minutes after you told me the problem, I could, if you just shut up for 5 minutes, I probably would have gave you the solution, or I'd have probably handed you off. People were just so into problem-driven stuff. I just need to know what's going on. What's the problem? Just give me the problem. I'll give you the solution. And if I don't have the solution, I promise you it's in my Rolodex. I guarantee you. Because I have the phone, okay? And for example, like I have Slack right here. I keep Slack completely up here. All my referral partners, and the way that I built my referral business is a text. Like you can text the word money, you can text the word funding, you can text the word credit, you can text the word whatever specific need that I hear a lot of objections is. I have one phone number and one word for any kind of service. And listen, if I get asked more 2 or 3 times, I clone it, I build it. So I can say, you know what, Tamara, text the word funding to 574-203-9605, and we'll help get you funded. And it's done, right? So it's just the simplicity of what can be is how you build your business, or how you build.
I love it. And Andrea Adams Miller, the Smiles Movement, the Smiles Woman, she's said is right here, stepping up to help others. And, she is and epitomizes that. And they're really getting it. And Sherry, open, honest, direct, and respectful, my motto. And, I
believe in, and I think this comes from the Jim Grant days. And just a lot of the stuff. Here's the thing. If somebody wants to change their habits, when I do coach them, if you have to turn around and fail, I'm bigger than you. I just have that motto. Listen, you see it in the military, you see it in the teams. They don't leave anybody behind. The only difference, but I'm like, are you trying to give me a lap dance, or are you actually trying to like get something done? Because I'm not.
Right.
Okay. And if you can get. But you got to do it respectively and lovingly, right? But it's one of those things. People, when they're frustrated and aggravated like that, they're working on something they're not good at. So it just get to the point. Give me the 5-minute version of it, right? And then let's get to the problem. Because we just wasted 45 minutes on something that we could have solved 45 minutes ago. And we already got it started, already got the meetings going. It's even like when I introduce you to William, some of those guys are like, hey, I'm trying to. I'm like, nope, here you go. And I just did it, because if I didn't do it then, I forget, right? Our mind only.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever it is. So I do it. The difference is you're either reactive or proactive. And listen, if that helps William and it serves you and it's a great collaboration, I'm just going to make sure that both sides get it done. Right. I just chime in. I'm like, and that's part of, it's just, you're either going to be relentless about your dreams and the relentless of the dreams of your students. See, when my students turn around, or my little brothers, I call them, or my little sisters, they have to face me. And I'm just not, okay.
I love that. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yes.
We all have bad days. I buried 15 of my family members in the last 18 months. And Andreas knows it. I reached out to a couple of my sisters and I said, man, this is, and Steve talks about the black swan. It's not if, it's when. I'm like, holy cow, this is crazy. And I found my family after 30 years. And, and the week after I met my uncle, his wife passed away. And then, probably 2.5 months after that, my oldest aunt died. And then my wife's ex-husband committed suicide. And then 2 weeks later after that, her brother died. And so there was, but again, if I didn't have, and I'll give you the other side, if I didn't have the people that helped fill my tank.
Right.
Okay. And Lizette LaForge, I know you know her. That was probably one of the hardest. Her dad and I were really tight. and it just, dude, I bawled at a mastermind. I don't remember the last time I don't usually break, but he was an old merchant Marine. He was just, made me fly all the way to Florida to look at a set of plans. And I asked him straight up, I'm like, dude, I'm just curious what price a house in your area ever matches this. He's, all right, works, scrapping, rips it up, throws it away. And it was just one of those people in your life. And I've had a lot of great, people like that. And you got to, that's what we don't. We don't surround ourselves. We love to give. But at what point in our tank, where do we plug in and recharge?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm hearing you. I don't know about you guys, but I really needed Timothy today. And I'm so happy that you are with us because we're coming at the top of the hour, and we actually, you have been a true service hero, because it's been like a lesson we have been learning from you, and I appreciate that so much. Now, you also you are helping people that right now are in pain, and you had brought something up to me, and I then realized who it is that you actually right now are champion, like a GoFundMe, and getting some awareness and some help for a family that many of us know.
No, I'll give you a backstory real quick. It only takes 2 seconds. So I had to write a letter for my daughter, and it was one of the hardest things I had to do. But Paul had been through Paul and his wife. So while we were on the cruise, he actually helped me write a letter. And so Paul reached out, got some young kids that are cool. We masterminded together, and I get this link. Now, he didn't make it. It was his niece that made it. And so I reached out immediately. And so yesterday I jumped on with Ken Krell, another one of my little brothers. And I'm like, dude, I need your help for a second. He's like, dude, no worries. Like, this is it. So his wife had open heart surgery while we were at an event. And I'm like, then I think it was. And then, then she's got stage 4, some kind of rare, like less than how many cases of it, stage 4 cancer. And so she's a rock star. She's like, I'm like, it's like GI Deb, right? It's like, so I just, and if people would, again, it's just, she's made such an impact in the Mavericks world. She's made such an impact to so many wonderful women, and being strong during their challenges that, hey, sometimes we all do. And I had to, in 18 months, I had to reach out to mine. And, when Paul reached out and said, dude, I got you. Like, I'm going to be relentless about it. So I'll get on and speak about it. Great lady, always about serving. I mean, imagine having 3 sets of twins.
I know that when I heard that, I was in Las Vegas when I met Paul, and I think his wife was there too. And he's sharing the pictures, and and how much of a family, they're family. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And there are 3 sets of twins close to each other.
Right.
So you got 6 kids close to each other. And I think, didn't they homeschool them all? I mean, And so they're all graduating from college. They're all totally, set for going on and being productive, young, adults. And just so impressive. And so when I got the connection today of who it is, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So when we're done with this, if you want to drop some information in about how someone can support them and touch, and if nothing else, just share the love, because getting that love, it's just like Skip is on my board of directors, and he's a survivor, and he's really talks a lot about the frequency of love. And we declared Chemo Buddies for Life to be the year of love, actually the decade of love, because it really has a healing power and property. And this is what they need. They need all the different types of love that you guys can share. So many of our buddies do, and you have been serving us so much today. How can we help you? What can we do for you? Because you've been on here generously for an hour, sharing so many tips, do this, do that,
Take the information. If you can help somebody that doesn't get it, start listening for the problem is, the challenge is, the issue is. We can either, as a collective, come out of this and work together. Like, just there's like neighborhood app, like, hey, drop somebody food or something that doesn't have it, or just serve somebody that, or just if you're in McDonald's or something, just pay for the person behind you, or you don't ever know. Like, somebody can be completely pissed off behind you, and they're just so shocked by somebody would do something. Right. As a commodity. And my big thing is, Deb, there's I'll if you put a link in there later. Listen, I don't care if it's $1, $5. Listen, as a collective, can you, they were shut down in the event business. Obviously business doing, but imagine having stage 4 and just had open heart surgery. That is not cheap by any means. And so I was proud to, I believe when we serve each other in down times, we'll serve each other in up times.
Absolutely. And this is another one of our ambassadors right here. And you talk about service, service heroes. There are so many people out there. Andrea, she is incredible. And I understand you have one of the Smiles books. You're one of the authors. That's pretty cool.
I got 2 of them. Yeah, we got one we had another one coming out for contractors that my partner's really big into serving vets. And so we do have a custom home building company out in Moses Lake. He's quite a bit older than me, but it was his uncles that really coming out of, I forget if it was Vietnam or World War II, a lot of his family, Navy. And his love for just building and serving the community is kind of why we became partners, because I was kind of in the same mission. And what's cool about it is his mission to go on later on is to teach contractors, like, listen, and Steve Down had a company, and it was called Cost Capital, right? Is connect your for-profit business with something that you really love.
Right.
Do I love real estate? Not as much as I do what I like to do when I help, like the Power We, or, like John Cornetta and I don't really say it that loud. We built our very first well in Ghana. Like, you don't connect with a guy like that. And then we're at the table. I put the money in. He put money in.
I love it.
Other buddy.
Yes.
And and the next time I seen him, he's like, dude, look. And they have a digital printing company. So all that stuff that comes back, he comes up and goes, here's all the photos. And like, these kids don't even care what it says. It's like free clothes. And you just see the smiles. It just, when you connect on such a deeper level with people, it just, the world changes.
Absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down from the line for just a moment. I want you to finish this up, like give a nugget, whatever it is that you want to say to everybody that's out there right now. If you can, inspire them, say something that you want to leave them with, and then I'll come up and then we'll finish out the show. Okay.
Well, guys, here's how easy this is. Right now, you either pivot to profit. Okay. If you're going through stuff, start looking at the opportunities. There were more millionaires made during the Great Depression. There was a lot of millionaires that were made through 2008. You can either be proactive or reactive during this time. Life doesn't have to suck. Life is what you're going to make it. We live in America. If you look at opinion versus advice, okay, if you listen to people's opinion, of course, everybody in your family is an expert at everything. Just ask them. And just go through the world and just make a difference for yourself. If we're going to teach our kids this is how we're going to react in bad times, then we're training them to be reactive, not proactive. And, one of the things I just like to say, just like my friend Deb, it's just, Tamara said she put a link in there. Like, I just love her to death. She's one of those women that came in at a time that I had some challenges, did some great things for me. And I'm so thankful for, like, Tamara and a lot of people on here. Andreas, I've known for a lot of years. Sometimes you got to open up the doors, let people know what you're frustrated with, let them know what's going on, because they'll give you a different perspective. So the more you give a different perspective is because what you permit here, you're going to promote. Okay. And yesterday is history and tomorrow's the mystery and today's the present. That's why it's called a gift. There's nothing you can do about yesterday. But what you can do is be proactive today to service your life, serve your kids, give that purpose back in, because what this opportunity has done for many businesses is to show us the holes we have. How diversified are we? Okay. And that's just one of the biggest challenges that I believe most people face, is because when you say the problem is, the challenge is, the issue is, that's what you create. As Bill Heinrich always says, you know what I mean? Simplify, simplify, simplify. Life doesn't have to be, when you get out of the stories of what's going on in your mind. And again, sometimes reach out, like, hey, hit me on timothyrjohnson.com, connect with me on Instagram, go to Keep It Moving Collective, go to Uncensored Society, connect with us, share what's going on. Like, listen, I get it. I get thrilled and stoked by it. I just don't believe life at the end of the day has to be as bad as it is, because as perspective says, how many kids in the Philippines, how many kids and adults in Bangladesh, India would trade you for your life right now? And that's why life is just such a dynamic when you shift here. Because how many people in your lives will you change when you're the catalyst? That's it.
Wow. What we're going to do in regards to all of the connection links and everything is, if you can help me, we'll put all of those into the comment areas, and so that you can get a hold of Timothy. You can follow him. You can check into what it is that he's doing with his tribes and his groups and everything, because I'll tell you this, I have been so well, Timothy, you have taught me today. Thank you guys for sitting in on a conversation I needed to hear today, because truthfully, I really did. And I can't even say thank you enough, because your generosity of spirit and your story has just impacted me in so many more ways, even now. And you impacted me in the very beginning when I first started this journey. And it's interesting that it's another pivotal time and you are here again. That's the way it works in this life, guys. And so, go out there and be a pivot to, pivot and then be there for others. I love that. 1 and 1 and 11.
Yeah.
1 and a 1.
Because remember, when they say, see, my thing is just a story. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Right? It has nothing to do, because just like in my back wall, it says right there, I have those sayings for a reason. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is the mystery. Today's the present. That's why it's called the gift. Like, that story has nothing to do with today. It happened 40 years ago. But if you look at the media, they're still talking about it.
Yeah, of course.
And that's all it is. Like, turn the TV off. Listen, there's so many other amazing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. So, as we close right now, guys, the Service Hero show, 365 Days of Awesome, celebrate success through service. Timothy R. Johnson, you are a service hero. You have served us today in this hour. I know that if many are going to replay and take notes and do this again. And I challenge you to not only do that, but then come back and share that you did. And so others will too, because this is information that now is in the internet. It is now out there to share. Let's share it, because so many people right now need this. It's a way for us to actually be coming out of this time so much more prepared, so ready to experience the gift of today. I love that. The gift of today. And like one of our good friends will always say, everything today is perfect. Right? Everything is perfect. Okay, so make it a perfect day, everybody. It's a gift. And then go out and start reaching out. Reach out. Call. tonight we have What's Up Wednesday in the closed group for Chemo Buddies for Life. Misty Lane will be there, and we will be updating on what's happening with the health issues. Also, we have Kelly K. Walker coming back, and she's going to help us to craft our own manifesting language for what it is that you want. So come into the closed group. If you haven't joined us, come and join us. Chemo Buddies for Life. It's here on Facebook, the closed group. We'll see you there. Thank you so much, Timothy. Bye. Bye, everyone.